Millions of federal workers are deciding whether to accept or reject the buyout offer that Elon Musk has presented to them. Critics say the offer is a bad deal because the criminal-in-chief, Donald Trump, is not authorized to make that kind of deal. Remember, Congress must approve something like that. Ben Dixon is a pastor, political commentator, author of God is Not a Republican. So Ben, y'all are trying to get these federal workers not to accept this buyout. Explain.
Yes, exactly. And I'm glad I heard you almost say black, because we know so many federal workers are black people. We know for certain that Congress has not authorized any type of buyout. And we know for certain that this was off guard. A lot of people, even in Donald Trump's administration, was caught off guard by Elon Musk creating this buyout package. We are encouraging all federal workers to, one, not fall for it, because like you said, it is a trap. But number two, they are the front line holding the line against MAGA. We need them to stay in their jobs, in their positions, and make sure that they hold the line. Do not take the buyout from MAGA.
Have you communicated with some? Because I saw one report earlier this week that an estimated 20,000 federal workers had actually accepted the buyout. I was talking. It's interesting. I saw this tweet. I brought it up yesterday from the right wing radio person, Buck Sexton, and he was like, "Well, it tells you these people want to accept the buyout because they want to keep these cushy federal jobs." And my response was, "No, idiot. It's because the buyout is not real. It's fake. It's fraudulent." This is the graphic. I just pulled it up myself. This is the graphic right here, Ben. Y'all pushing out. Federal workers do not resign. Do not resign. America needs you. Resist from within. Document everything. Demand excellence. MAGA will fail. But the most important thing is spread the word. No MAGA buyout. But again, it's illegal. The federal. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Congress, actually, it starts in the House. Congress appropriates money. There is nothing there in the federal budget that says, yeah, we're going to pay these buyouts.
That's right. That's right. So it's smoke and mirrors, and it's to create a momentum. They're trying to create a momentum so that federal workers will quit on their own. They understand that they don't have the power. They have to go through the bureaucracy. They have to go through red tape to try to fire any of these individuals. And so they're trying to entice them to quit. But like you said, it's a trap. There's no congressional approval for this. This is Elon Musk talking out the side of his neck, trying to run a fast one on you. Federal workers do not resign. And if you know a federal worker, if you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who's a federal worker, please spread the word. Do not resign.
My panel, Matt.
So, Pastor, what happens if people don't take these resignations or this buyout, and the administration says you got to go and people just decide not to leave? Like, what are their rights, literally, in terms of being in a federal building, removal? What does that process look like? The reason I ask that is my understanding is something like 2% of the federal workforce is considering taking this, which means the other 98% are not, which means there will be mass action, presumably, as it relates to firing. What is your understanding on their rights in terms of removal and that kind of thing if they choose not to take this buyout and their hands are forced?
Well, thankfully, many federal workers are unionized, and many of the unions are speaking out right now, letting it be known that they are collectively denying and refusing to even consider this buyout. And so their first line of defense will be their unions, their union attorneys, those individuals who know how to file a wrongful termination suit. That's their next line of defense, to make sure you have your lawyers as much as you can get them, if you have them, to represent you immediately if you're fired. But while you're there, most importantly, we need you to document everything, because we expect a functioning government with MAGA, just like we did underneath Joe Biden. And so federal workers can document the incompetence that we know comes with MAGA.
And also, I mean, I've seen some stories, Ben, and if you can speak to this, that where some have speculated that if you take this buyout, it could have implications regarding your federal pension.
That's right. No, absolutely right. The part of the buyout, again, this is something crafted by Elon Musk. So you have to think that this is something that comes from the corporate sector.
And hold on, before you say, and It's literally the exact same language. He took it from what he did at Twitter. So they just copy and paste it.
Right. He copied and pasted the fork in the road email headline. Right. And so this is him letting everyone know that it is Elon Musk. He is trying to show how big his ego is and how much power he has. He did not consult with any of the department heads, any of the cabinet members. He made this move. It was disruptive even to MAGA, if you can, imagine that. He superseded the disruption of MAGA. And to what end? To lie to people, to try to entice you to quit. That's how they win. Workers, federal workers, please, for the love of everything, hold the line, do not resign.
Zachary.
One thing that I think is my question, right, as someone who does content creation, how can we get the word out on a broader scale to ensure that the federal workers know that, one, this probably is a violation of the Anti-Deficiency Act, and that the max you can get anyway from the government would be $25,000. So this would exceed that for many of these employees. How do we get the word out so that they know to stay and just toe the line?
No, absolutely. We have to get the word out one by one. We can't, there's no platform big enough that's going to come in and save us. So we need every content creator, every person in a text thread with your family, even some folks you haven't talked to in a while, anyone that you know from high school or college or your church that might be a federal worker. We need to reach them as individuals. We need everyone to do their part. The other thing is, I'm honestly, as I'm looking at the live audience with Brother Roland tonight, we need everyone in the live audience to go and recruit 5 more people to come and sit and listen to the wealth of knowledge that's happening here. It doesn't matter how much content we create if we don't get eyes on that content. So we need to get 100,000 black folks watching Roland Martin every night. That's how we get the word out.
Michael.
Pastor Ben Dixon, can you talk about exactly what a civil service employee is and how that differs from an appointee? Yes. And how does this play into this whole buyout? How does this play into Schedule F employees, which is part of Project 2025, and eliminating about 50,000 at least employees and replacing them with Trump loyalists?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that very important question, because civil employees, civil workers are actually advanced based on merit, test taking, qualifying, expertise. They go through the mill. Any federal worker will tell you they worked and gave their life, everything they could to get to the position that they are in, versus MAGA, a bunch of incompetent, cave-dwelling troglodytes who don't believe in science, who don't believe in truth. They don't believe in anything but servitude to Donald Trump. We guarantee, we know without a shadow of a doubt, if these federal workers resign, they will be replaced by people who are incompetent, incapable, and ideologues.
All right, thank you.
Matt.
One more question, Pastor Ben. So my understanding is under President Clinton, there was some version of federal workers being asked to leave. I don't know all the contours of that, but if you would please let us know, is there any precedent for this? And if so, how was it done legally there so we can contrast to what we're seeing, the illegal, actions going on now?
Not at this scale and not in this magnitude in terms of who's doing it. Elon Musk, the request goes against most of the policy, which requires a 30-day notice in any case with federal workers. That's the baseline, not to mention whatever the unions have. On top of that, there are layers to this being done. However, if they could just get everyone to quit, then they don't have to go through those layers. And so how would it absolutely look?
Actually, one second. I actually have the answer here. So a fact check was done on this here. And go to my iPad. Did Clinton set the precedent for mass federal workers? Trump fans say his plan for federal worker buyouts is not new. In the early 1990s, Bill Clinton signed. See, I want y'all to hear this. This is the operative phrase. Bill Clinton signed an act allowing $25,000 buyouts for federal workers. That was passed by Congress. And that's right here. Under Clinton, the government offered mass buyouts. But there's a key difference with what's happening under Donald Trump. A bipartisan Congress overwhelmingly approved Clinton's program following months of review. That's the difference.
There it is. That's the difference, because this is being headed up by Elon Musk. He has taken his prerogative, he's taken his ego, his pride, and his platform, and has decided that this is what the United States of America is going to do, as opposed to Congress passing legislation.
All right, then. Again, folks, we want you to is the graphic on all your pages, and I'll put on my Instagram page.
Yes, it's across all of social media at this point. We need just everyone to get this image, send it to people in real life that you know, call, text them. Federal workers do not resign.
Absolutely, because again, if you voluntarily take the buyout, you also are putting in jeopardy your legal status. So and I'm sure Matt, being a lawyer, will tell anybody, you want to protect every legal opportunity that you have. You don't want to take that buyout. Don't even get near it. And I need people to understand. I know Christopher Wray and these other people, they resign. Y'all, I'm just going to tell y'all this here. When I worked at a radio station, KRLD in Dallas, Jack Hines was a news director, and so Jack wanted me to resign. Hell no, I ain't resigning. So somebody came to me and said, Roland, I don't understand. I mean, they're trying to force you out. I said, you never quit because you can't file for unemployment insurance.
That's right.
I said, you let them fire you. Y'all, getting fired today ain't the same as it was 30, 40 years ago. I don't give a damn. Let them fire you.
That's right.
Then you have a better legal standing. Then the unions can file lawsuits on your behalf. What you don't do, you don't voluntarily quit.
That's right.
You don't
Thank
do
you
it.
So much.
All right, Ben, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. And right now we're accepting investors in our $17 million round to revolutionize the future of social media. Today, for just $399, you can own 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. While the big platforms have grown too massive and disconnected from their users, Fanbase is building a platform where creators and users truly come first. We've already raised $4.8 million from everyday investors who believe in this vision, and now you can join them. This is your chance to invest in a social media tech company with over 1 million users that is disrupting media by allowing anyone to reach all of their following and monetize their content from day one. The market is changing, big platforms are failing to serve their users, and Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now. Invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the future of social media.